Welcome back to day 4 on 15 reasons why job hunting feels so hard and 45 ways to make it fun again. The One of the biggest reasons that I hear all the time, and I'm guilty of this too actually, is that you've not kept up with your network, and so you've got all these relationships that you've built over the years and you kind of suck at keeping in touch. And there's some good news and some bad news here. The bad news is that if you are over the age of 30, you have less than a 10% chance of getting a job off of a job board. So that means that your network is going to be your lifeline in making a move. Now, the good news is that no one else nurtures their network either. So it's not like we've got this idyllic view of like everyone's out there keeping in touch with their people and I'm the only schmuck that ignores everyone. That's not the case at all. Everybody, pretty much everybody, sucks at this. So you're not starting from behind the 8 ball. You've got an opportunity to gain some ground and you have nothing to be embarrassed about because so many people just leave their network for dead, right? You meet them, you work with them, you love them, you move on, you've got great memories and you never reach out. So that's fine. Don't get jammed up over this and don't get, really stressed. I remember I had one client who had an amazing pedigree in his network. He, career in one industry, knew all the heavy hitters, and when we were talking about it, felt like he needed to start from scratch because he had not kept those relationships alive. And so thankfully, we were able to get him over that, and he was able to land an amazing job using the people that he's already had and known for the past 25 years. And I bet you could do the same thing as well. So here's the way when you look down that gauntlet of having to reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, and you don't want to sound like an idiot, you don't want to sound like you're asking for a favor, that you've got your hand out for something, and it's just awkward, and sometimes it's hard to get up that momentum, and a lot of times this is the part that is not fun until you get started. Because in your head, you have this giant concern that, they're going to ignore you or that they never really liked you that much, or are they even going to remember you? And then once you start to do this and you start to reach out and they're like, oh my God, this is so great because they remember you well. And you guys have great war stories to share with each other, and there's a lot of catching up to do, and people generally are very, very responsive when you're reaching out to a network with people that you've worked with and that you've had really good experiences with. So here are 3 ways that I want you to think about how to, in a fun way, get re-engaged with your network, because once you do, you're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and second, it's going to be your lifeline if you want to find a new role. So the first thing you want to do is absolutely leverage the power of LinkedIn and see what they've been up to. It has never been easier to find your people, get caught up, and be able to re-engage with them with a current reference of some sort than it is right now, right? So everybody's on LinkedIn. Get in there, pay attention to what they're doing, and really see where they've gone with their career before you reach out. Because what you want to do is you always want to start the conversation with something that's relevant or current. And so when you're able to go on LinkedIn and do that, it makes life so much easier. And then the other thing that might be a fun thing for you to do in terms of re-engaging your network, I've done this a few times and it turned out to be a total blast, is I would get together the whole team of a former employer. So let's say there was 6 or 7 people on our leadership team. All of us have lost touch. And so I would arrange a happy hour. Now obviously that was before COVID times, so we would actually throw down some beer in a bar. But even if you're not doing that right now, you can totally do that virtual. But get the band back together again. It will be fun to see everybody, to see where everybody's, landed and what they're up to. And also to help put the word out if you're looking for work or if you're open to opportunities, to let people know in a very casual and warm and fun environment. And then the third way that you might want to restoke that network to make sure that you're starting to do the most important work in your job search is to always start with the most senior people in your network. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. We don't want to call on a favor to a C-level executive or to someone who's very powerful and influential, and you're not calling in a favor, you're reconnected. But what you want to do is you want to shorten the cycle, because we talked about yesterday how there's not a lot of time. And so you can spend time talking to people who who are not going to be in a position to help you, Or you can use that precious time and really focus top down on your network of people and make sure that you are going after the people who are in the best position to help give you guidance and perhaps find an opportunity for you versus going bottom up. So save yourself the time. If you want to work off the cobwebs and dust off a little bit if you're rusty, then start with some lower level people, but don't spend a lot of time there, right? Go top down and make sure that you are reaching out to the most senior people that you have in your community. And so this whole concept of I feel guilty for leaving my network, and you know that your network is the holy grail to landing your next role. If you're over 30 years old, then you need to get into the game and you need to stay in the game this time. And so 3 ways that you're going to be able to do that and make it fun is to make sure that you leverage the power of LinkedIn so you can get caught up before you reach out and start with something relevant. Then you want to organize some kind of happy hour with people that you've worked with before, because that's going to be a fun way for everyone to catch up at one time. And then last but not least, make sure that you go top down in terms of your network to make sure that you're working with the people who have the opportunity and the ability to help you as quickly as possible. So hopefully these opportunities or these ideas will help you and reignite your energy to get back into that networking game and start having fun and meaningful conversations with people that you have worked with in the past. I'm telling you, I do it at least a couple times a month and I love it. So again, if you are sick of settling for second best, and if you're not in a job that you love every single Monday morning, then you need to click the link in this post and check out the programs that we've got. We can help you move further, we can help you move faster, and we can help you have fun while you do it. So clients that come into the CWC family end up landing a new role or a promotion within 4 to 5 months. They're making on average 20% more, and they're with an amazing community of people that just help make everything so much better. So I want to see you in the family. So click a link in this post and let's see what we can do to help you move further. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.